Shalom, Salama, Siemi, Shalom. Greetings to all of my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world. Whether you're the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach, we welcome you this morning to our Q2UA discussions. And there is a lot to discuss. Again, family, I'd like to say thank you. We are at 20% of our goal to get to 15K. And I appreciate everyone's support. There are a couple of folks that have joined the gold level. Thank you for those that have joined the gold level on our Patreon. And on our Patreon, excuse me, we released, this is the Patreon for Quest Unite Africa. On the Quest Unite Africa Patreon, we released the commercial that will be showing and shown here on Covenant Awakenings. And these are just some of the things that we're doing. There's more things happening behind the scenes. There's more interactions going on behind the scenes. There's work that we're doing that goes on behind the scenes with our nonprofit association partners. And that's what the Most High has allowed for this organization to do. We're 5.5 months into this. In these 5.5 months, we've written for grants. We've taken trips to Africa to establish relationships. We've reached out to foreign dignitaries. And the work continues with putting together mother newborn kits for doctors that we have spoken to on the continent, particularly in Rwanda and Tanzania. There is a need for our help. We have to think about the parable of the man that was robbed. We don't want to just say, well, we are praying for you, and you just leave them by the wayside dying. And if you understood that parable, everyone that claimed to be righteous in that parable was an Israelite, a Yahudim, house of Yahudim. And it was actually a Gentile, not a northern tribe, or a Gentile. Because remember, at that time, northern tribe was cleared out and the Gentiles were brought on in. And he fixed up the wounds. He took them into the inn and paid for the night for that man's stay that was robbed and injured. Compassion is, we can pray about things, but if you have the ability and the means, the Most High blesses your actions. He does. He blesses the works of your hands. so they can become fruit. This is all a fruit. It's all the labor. And now this is going to be labor intensive. Because why? Because the man child is on its way. Brother Big Red, Salama.
How goes it? How goes it?
We're bringing in new guests that support. Brother Big Red, if you can go ahead and just let people know about the video you helped to produce, the the graphics behind it, really the intent behind it. Because you see, as we premiere this video, because I want to try and premiere it here in about another 20 minutes, gives our folks an opportunity to come on in, gives the algorithm an opportunity to do its thing. Brother Big Red,
Yeah, basically, we wanted to really just show how we, have been active. We have been over there as Q2UA in Tanzania. We had the blessed ability to be honored in the parliament, which was pretty huge, and met with a lot of folks there, and really just to get across that we're not coming over into the continent like how Gentiles do it. It's coming over to be a mutually gainful partnership. It's to help the people and not just help the ones at the top and line their pockets up. And that's really honestly what we should have been doing all along. It's kind of like one of those things where we're like, man, why haven't we done this before? But it's the timing of the Most High. There was curses in place. We wasn't even aware of who we were. So it's really just like a reuniting and working together. Like this isn't we take this and we get this or we get that. It's like, hey, we see y'all got things going on. Let's work together and make this better. So it's just a little brief synopsis, kind of symbolizing that, one of many to get started. As we start doing more and more things over there, we'll have more and more footage and more things to reveal as those things go along.
absolutely, hallelujah. And I want to kind of touch in on some current events in terms of why this is so important. Um, and we have to think of how we're seeing things. So this today, September 15th, the picket lines began. Shalom, brother Michael. The picket lines began in Detroit with the UAW. That's the United Auto Workers. They are on out there on strike. And it's interesting because, you know, maybe what, 4 or 5 years ago, this was all we heard was this is the best economy ever. Right? 4 or 5 years ago, that's what we heard. We heard, oh, everything is good, everything is fantastic, your 401ks are just climbing. And now they're on strike on the picket line because number one, gas powered vehicles, which is produced in America, they're not really being sold and they're not really being promoted. And number two, globalization has really put a dent in things. So what they thought they had the market or the premium on is no longer the case. And now they're seeing it firsthand, the impacts that it's having. So I just want us to be, aware of how these things change so quickly. And that's just here at home. But we haven't even discussed what's going on in the continent. We haven't even we haven't even really drilled down to an impending war in Niger. Brother Michael, what do you think about that?
Shalom, family. Shalom, Red. What's going on, brother? Um, I was just looking at all of that yesterday. All the conflicts in Africa, not just Niger, everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I was thinking about it. Uh, they are demanding things to be treated like a grown man. Uh, not like a third world nation or country,
Mm-hmm.
but this is what they've been plunged into. This is the mentality of the nations that has raped and pillaged the whole continent of Africa. And so, but when I thought about this, Brother Karras, was one thing that stuck out. How long those countries been in Africa now, ruling? Take a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Now, all they started off with gold, and they still looking at gold, but it all started with gold and silver.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's just take this back for hundreds of years, right? They can't take that gold with them when they die.
Mm-mm.
Can you imagine how much gold these nations have stored up from that time that they claim to have taken Africa?
Yeah, tons,
Tons.
tons, hundreds of tons, thousands of tons.
And we talking about they've been saving this up for who? For Jacob. And they don't even know it.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. But looking at the conflicts, I believe that this is every last bit of Isaiah chapter 11 when Yah said that he turned his attention back to his people. He said he's going to gather his supplants, and he's doing that. And you send the brothers there raising their voices. Then you send other countries also saying, hey, if Niger get invaded or attacked, we're going to help.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing I'm looking at, Karis. That's the thing, because now they showing some type of unity that has never been there before. The things that they fought to keep these countries separated, it's like a thin piece of glass, and it just shattered right there in front of their faces. Now you got all these other channels on YouTube saying, hey, if France don't get control of these countries, it's going to be the third world.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's happening now. It's on the verge of becoming a third world. And this is all due to their doings. In any other country that took part in that disrespect of Israel, Yah is he's pushing his agenda. That's what I'm seeing. And I'm serious. I'm just to see a country say, hey, we don't want no more. So, what's that? Syria. They just posted something. They just said that they want the U.S. out of their country. Now, don't you see? You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And I'm looking at different countries that is outside of Africa. What is it? Like those 10 toes is turning on their leg,
Mm-hmm.
that iron leg, and here we are witnessing that uh this change of power, because they right now these nations they're doing some dumb things. They're doing some dumb things. I mean, it's some things that just flat out don't even make sense.
Mm-hmm.
But back in the days, When they went in, they wanted to take something. They was decisive, on point, and and they got it done. But now, Yah has confused them, and they still thinking they got it together, but they don't. They really truly do not have it together. And I rest on that, brother Karras.
All right, thank you, brother Mike. And remember, we're we're here. We're trying to get to 15K. Most High willing, and I thank you all for your efforts. But if you can, if you see right now, these efforts are it's more
It's
needed
more needed
now
now.
now than ever. We're building the relationship on the ground. We're building the relationship with the people. And now and now look, I look at the potential military conflict and intervention in Niger, and honestly, my personal opinion is let them go. Let's see what the West does.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
honestly, I'm looking at it as let's see how the West falls because that's going to add insult to injury. You see what I'm saying? That's going to be the ultimate insult to injury. Not only can you not go back on in there, but you didn't have the power that you thought you had. Do you see what I'm saying? They're going to be like, "Oh, snap. We done messed up." They unified together. Now let me kind of give you a little bit of a synopsis to that, and I think Brother Red could probably attest to this. Now, shout out to Brother Yakoba. He had said this interesting the other day. He said he just found out that World War I was tied to Africa and the African resources, and you know what? More than
More than
likely,
likely,
that was correct.
that was correct.
I'm getting some. There you go, Brother Cetros. And now think about what we see here with the Ukraine effort. And it's not Ukraine, it's really the West versus the East. And think about what the East has done for the countries in the West that are now shutting off the supply to the West. Now, people talk about, well, there's going to be nukes flying. I know that there's going to be nukes flying. I can guarantee it. Because when the West is not able to control the resources that they thought or they think they're going to be able to control, that's going to be your start of the nukes flying. Because why? Because they know that when it starts to get really cold there, that when that food gets shut off, that when that energy gets shut off, if you don't have energy, guess what's going to happen? Your food supply is going to be spoiled. Please help us in getting to 15K. Brother Cetros from Nigeria, Shalom Salama. How how goes it?
Shalom, sir. Shalom, everyone. It's nice to be here today. The painful thing is that Africa seems to be like a basket in their eyes that they've been taken from when technology was not readily available in the palm of the poorest in Africa.
Mhm.
But now, even the youngest in Africa can see what is going on. And when you are being deceived yourself to think of what the manipulators want you to think of, by the time you listen to one or two other well researched minded Africans, you'll be able to know, oh, so this is just a jinx. This is just a lie they want me to believe. And the game plan of this chap is that they want to bring the world war
Mm-hmm.
to Africa. They've seen their mistake in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
They've been able to destabilize Ukraine. They use that as a test lesson. Now they don't want such war in the West. They
Mm-hmm.
want Africa to be the battleground. They want to continue the same way they've been doing, which is every 68 years or thereabout, they disrupt the whole world system
Mm-hmm.
so that they can continue to be in charge. And little wonder, that's why they begin to bring war to come up like a timetable, like a scheduled calendar. They program the art of war, they program war in regions, they program war in Africa to suit them. Now, being a Nigerian and seeing what is going on, I'm just laughing, and I'm trying my best to educate the young ones around us here that we should not even think about war.
Mm-hmm.
Niger, if you look at the word Niger and you look at Nigeria, even from the pronunciation, you don't need anybody to carry megaphone to tell you that Niger and Nigeria, they are just one people.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Even if the whole of Africa is thinking that maybe they've been deceived to believe that Ghana is different from Nigeria, Nigeria is different from Malawi and the likes. No, we are all the same people, divided because of the greedy takers. The Bible called them greedy lookers. They
Mm-hmm.
come into a place. I described them during one of my show. I described them as hyena. They don't just eat the flesh, they want to crack the bone.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
They feed on human carcasses, and the top of them is France.
Mm.
I say this thing without mincing words. I'm not interested. I was saying it at a particular time online, and I'm not interested to travel to any of these glorified empty carcass countries of the West because they have
Yeah.
nothing. If you take away the resources of Africa, France is lesser than an houseboy.
Yeah. France is that.
They
Yeah,
are,
I've been to France. I've been to France. Let me tell you,
okay.
if you don't have, if France doesn't have Africa, France is nothing. Just as Santos has said, France is nothing, and
So
that
you
is
you
why
you
they're
see
so
you see all
scared.
this. That's why it's written in the old books. It says, I see a problem on the head. The kings are walking in chains. They are walking on barefoot, and
Mhm.
babes and sucklings, slaves are riding on horses.
That's
Just
correct.
because we have some little minded, I don't want to call them creatures because they are sub creatures being placed in charge of the continent of Africa, being placed in charge of the economies of countries that they formulated in Africa, because those countries they formulated, they are not that's not our countries. They actually gave us names to divide us so that they can continue to take from us and create problems. Now, you want us to go and fight our own brother because of you, a criminal, coming into our continent to steal from them. You are taking the uranium, you are paying them as little as 80 cents.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And when we talk about when these guys when the Nigerians discovered this and they called for, they were so happy to have some reasonable soldiers amidst them to take up power, to liberate their people. You are calling us because now you suddenly realize, oh, Nigerians are the giant of Africa. Giant of Africa for what? To destroy our fellow brothers,
Mm.
to fight war because the Nigerians have gone through hell in the hand of France. Now
Hmm.
you want us to go and fight France, to go and fight Niger, so that Niger, there is this saying in Africa that somebody that does not have anything to lose is ready to die destroying the best of what you have. I'm in Lagos. which happens to be one of the best parts of Nigeria. I was just discussing with someone. I said, see, all this development that we are even still crying that is not okay, the little development we have in Nigeria, God forbid that anything should happen through Nigeria against Niger. What if these guys decide to launch, suicide attack against Nigeria? Do you know where they are going to? They are not going to go to the villages. They are going to take strategic places where we are thinking our economy is still a little bit thriving. Do we want to risk that because of a thief that has been stealing and has been asking the people to keep quiet, and they come by the name France? Someone was telling me the way you are sounding. What about don't you plan to travel? I am very comfortable in Africa. And because if I have to travel to any of these places, I'm actually going to spend my own hard-earned money to improve their economy. So why not use that to build lives here?
Yeah, exactly.
But
That's
you
what I meant.
see what is happening. A lot of Africans, our mindset is just go to Paris and die. I was asked, I said, why should I go to Paris and die when I can be in Africa and expand and see more lives and build more lives, that even now after I've gone, there is a name that is attached to me as a builder of the continent, not one narrow-minded helping the France to steal from Niger. I think the people of Niger, they have chosen their path. They've discovered that the so-called, anytime any of these Western countries come and they are mentioning democracy, is a government of madness, is a government of demons in craziness, democracy, demonization of craze, demonstration of craze, demonstration of nothingness. I define democracy as a system of using the idiot to cajole the wise into foolhardiness, so that the West can continue to steal from us. They cajole us with all these big words, democracy. Africa needs to define its own system of government, which should be Africa centric, not borrowing all this bullshit grammar from them that we do not even understand. And we think you want to have a system of government of everybody, government of the people, for the people, and all those are just white elephant projects. What we need in Africa, if you are concerned about the people that are actually the owners of the land, the youth, the adults, the male and female in Africa, to their benefit, in the place of Niger, they can now use their uranium to develop some other things. Then go ahead with whatever system of rulership, system of political system you feel you want to name it, not borrowing all this. And at the end of the day, France, you can imagine having countries central bank in France. You having all the financials of that country just in the hand of France. That was a particular year, I've forgotten specific year now. Some African countries came together. Nigeria was also part. They wanted to unify African currency, although I was looking at that with some other eyes of my, based on my level of exposure, because whenever you're talking of unifying currency and the likes, that's giving me some other signals that, oh, they are trying to wrap up the world into something else. But leave it as it may. They are trying to do this only for France to go and develop currency for the African countries that they have decided to kidnap. I call it kidnap and rape. These francophone countries, the government of France went to create another currency for them. I was like, are these people for real? So without so that I don't take much time, I just believe that everything is falling apart, and we should know that the victory is not yet over, because France is not going to fold their hands and allow where they have been stealing from to be taken away from them. And that's why everybody seems to be talking about what is happening, the joke that is happening in what's the name of this place now? The that this new country in Africa that just did a kind of what's it called? Military takeover.
Was that Gabon? You talking about Gabon?
Gabon. Gabon is a joke.
Oh yeah, come on, yeah.
That's a joke,
Well, I'm
and
talking about
that is
are you
written.
talking about
You said
are you talking about the supposedly new president they trying to put in power?
that's a joke. That's France. The brand name for that is France.
Now
France
let me ask you something. But
protecting
he's part of
where
that
they are stealing
family
from.
though, right?
You said
But he's part of the family of the ex-president, right? He's a
that's
cousin
it.
to them. Yeah, that's what
Is
I thought.
they
Yeah.
that one is a joke. They are just trying. They've seen the waves. You know this. The one thing about the children of this world, they study waves. They study time. They try to be like the sons of Issachar that understand the time and the season. But is the children of the kingdom that we are too slow. We talk too much and act lesser than the children of the world. Now, what they've seen is that, oh, with all these waves that is coming, Traore and the likes, and numerous countries in Africa are beginning to revolt against their former tax masters. Now, let us give them something that looks like a takeover, a military takeover, so that they now have full militia law on ground. So that if any good set of military guys want to take over from Gabon, it will be too late because they have already hijacked it. That's what just happened in Gabon, because that guy that took over is a family of the current of the president that
Exactly.
was ousted. So they were just acting Nollywood, Hollywood movies for the world, and they succeeded in deceiving their countrymen. Those ones are rejoicing, but I'm sure by the time they listen to other African people that can analyze and read in between the lines, of which you can't joke with Nigeria. Nigeria has large percentage of intelligent people in Africa. We've been able to see that that's just a fluke. They are just deceiving these guys. But the other ones that have happened before now, France is shivering now, and they are still trying to push Nigeria into war against our own brothers.
Mm.
Niger and Nigeria, you walk into each country, you walk in and walk out. You can sleep in Niger tonight and wake up in Nigeria the following morning. That's how our border is so open to each other. So you want us to go and kill our brothers because of you that have been stealing, you that you are an hyena, you've been stealing from the continent? No, it's not going to work.
Well, such
You
as
know
I
what,
look at it
brother?
like
I'm sorry.
this.
Go
I
ahead,
look at it
Kevin.
like this. If that happens, right, and they bring on over Nigerian soldiers. Think about what that says to the people of Nigeria and what that means in terms of what's being stolen from them. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the question then is, so what are you stealing from us? What's the what are we losing or missing out on? What monies are we not having access to? You see what I'm saying? That's a big calculus because those leaders don't want to obviously be the next one's cooed.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
and that's what
That's their concern, though.
yeah, and so Yakoba, Taya and Yakoba from Teo Ministries, they had said that a couple of weeks ago. Matter of fact, last month they had said they felt that the next big coup was going to actually happen in Nigeria. Can you give us thoughts coming from somebody on the ground in terms of sentiments?
You know what I would say? I don't think, I, humanly speaking, I don't think there is any coup coming from Nigeria. You know why?
Was that
Nigerians, I don't like to say much about Nigerians amidst other African countries so that they don't get a little bit jealous or angry. Because most of the time they see us Nigerians as too proud, or we sound so much in command. But that's not that's not a challenge. It's just that Nigerians have a way of thinking. What has happened in Nigeria, if it happens anywhere in the world, those countries will not exist again. But Nigerians have a separate DNA that should be subjected to more scientific tests. We are this set of people you cannot actually explain us. You might think we are coming from the left, then you find us at the top. We come from north. You might think we are coming from the north and we appear and we create a different origin that is not even part of north, south, west, east. I said that because you there is something about God when it comes to Nigeria. There is a plan, God kind of plan for Nigeria, which has made the country to still be in existence. If not, we are not supposed to be existing today. If you are looking for the best of brain, medically, legally, all around, you pick Nigerians in Africa. Now, if you are looking for the best of fraud, you also pick Nigeria, because you can look at it. We have over 200 million people. There is no single country in Africa that can accommodate us. God forbid if there is war, there is no country in Africa that can say, oh, I'm playing a helping role for Nigeria. If Nigeria gets there, that country is finished, because we have more population than the rest. Now, I said all that to say this. The West are trying to push us into a war that even our lawmakers are against, because they rose up to say, no, we are not going to fight with our brothers. Let's look for other means to resolve this matter, this family affair. Now, God forbid that there is war between Niger and Nigerians. That will make Nigerians stink more in
Yeah.
the eyes of other Africans, and that's what we do not want, because a lot of Nigerians have their investment in numerous African countries. So don't be carried away with what the West is trying to push around. Oh, Nigeria is going to help them to do this thing. You'll be shocked what will happen. 1 second, 1 second to the start of whatever plan they have to destroy Nigeria, because they are also looking for how to destroy Nigeria. They know there are so many resources here that they are secretly packing out of this country, and they want war so that they can be able to excavate more of them without being monitored. But one thing is sure, Nigeria, we think twice before we make any step. Nigerians can say, oh, I'm going to war tomorrow. Overnight, Nigerians will just tell you, you know what? Let's go through this route. It's not by war. You'll be shocked there will be no war between Nigeria and Niger, because we are brothers. And you will also be shocked there will be no military takeover, in the sense that what Nigerians are just looking for is take care of the populace. If the government that is in power started doing something that will take away the challenges of the people, make the country more comfortable, you will not see any military takeover, because Nigerians are not built for physical war. We are built for mental war. The formation of Nigerians is mental capacity upgraded to the highest version that any human being can think of. And that's why when we enter into any area of life, we succeed. When we enter into any country, we are too big for that country, because we have gone through hell here, that even when you are preaching about hell, we are not that bothered, because we are passed through maybe a kind of lower version of hell in Nigeria. So anywhere we get to, we create our own heaven. So anybody trying to instigate war in Nigeria is not going to work. Then secondly, let me tell you, the kind of leaders we have in Nigeria, they are so brilliant to a fault. Now, majority of the people that would have started the war, they are enjoying already. They've been settled somehow. I don't want to go too detail into that. They've been settled somehow. A lot of senior military officials are being retired, you know, and well compensated, well taken care of. So, who are those that are going to plan the war?
Yeah,
Now,
that's
in
true.
the next few months, if the current government begins to take care of his people and they begin to see the dividends of the government, they begin to see that what's it called, like for example, we're having transport issue because of the hike in price of fuel, which was many percentage increase and the likes, that people were trekking to offices, but now it's beginning to come down a little bit. They are trying to see what they can do. They are providing what's it called, 50, I think 50% discount on the rail lines that has just been opened. The blue, they call it the blue rail. You can imagine in 2023, that's when the giant of Africa is celebrating the blue rail. But we still need to celebrate it because it wasn't there before, but it's coming in now. And if it's coming in now, it's new to us. It might be like a joke to other countries that why are you celebrating this now, but we still have to celebrate because it wasn't there before, and since we have it now, we should celebrate new things. And as such, the next thing we are going to see is if there is improvement in rail system like that, of which we are being given a 50% discount in transportation via rail. If such increases across the country, and we are able to ship in foods from the villages that are disconnected, the roads are being fixed, of which, let me tell you, I have started seeing some road being fixed now. I've started seeing what's it called, a governor of a state giving 50% transportation fare and other stuff. Although as an economist, that is good, but we can still do better. We can increase investment instead of just increasing the cost of running the government and the likes. But it's still good. Within some few months, if life is becoming easier for the
Hmm.
people of Nigeria, let me tell you, nobody will take a bottle, talk less of gun, that they want to go and fight war. Nigerians are not meant for war. Nigerians are meant for mental war. We know how to do what, so we have this mental capacity that is not ready to die like a chicken. So, but we are ready to build businesses, we are ready to build relationship. In short, if you've been to Nigeria, you discover Nigeria has the best of character, as in welcoming strangers and all the likes. They can even sell their home to welcome you in. And that's where the West got into us, to get into this issue of selling ourselves at the expense of their homecoming. But we are now thinking outside the box. So I don't see Nigeria going into war, because we are not built for war. We have so much to offer the world than to see ourselves being killed. So,
That is
mhm.
well, Petros, that's a great explanation because we don't, especially on the continent and here in the diaspora, we're starting to see ourselves bigger than what they have projected on us, right? They project on us that, well, we don't have this or we can't do that and we can't, you know, um, uh, uh, create this. And that's all lies. And it's these lies now are being exposed. And I believe, to me, it seems as though these countries like Niger, what's how some would pronounce it, Mali and Burkina Faso have really created that catalyst that shows the African continent that yeah, there is more to us than just people grabbing from us. We can control our own destiny. We can control our own resources. We can control how we think, how we move, how we build. And that is important for critical infrastructure and economic development, which is what we were looking at here with Quest to Unite Africa. And that is still the main cornerstone of what we are accomplishing here with this mission. So I'm glad that you stated that, because it gives the credence that, look, the West is really in some serious trouble, and they want Africans to fight because, number one, they can depopulize, and number two, they can go through and grab more stuff with little oversight, with little questions, as Cetros had just stated.
All they need is a distraction. That's all they need. If they can go in there and continue to cause a distraction, cause conflict, they right back into the game. They right back. But this time, if they succeed, if they succeed, it's going to be a lot worse. And I don't think we can anticipate that. They go figure out other ways. Well, hey, how can we hold on to Africa for the next few hundred years?
Mm-hmm.
And they have always on both continents, here and in Africa, use our own brothers to work against our brothers, or even murdering them. This is history. Now we come to a point in our lives as Quest to Unite Africa. Now we are upon this we're on this mission that we trying to get in contact with brothers on the continent, brothers and sisters here in the UK, South America. That's what we're trying to do. This is one. I didn't know you was coming in, brother, and I was happy to see you on there. On this panel today, because this is just showing that we are doing this according to scriptures. We're coming together, and we really need to have more conversations together, because once the world see us talking more and we strategizing, they're going to take notice of this, and it's going to get stronger. It's going to get stronger, and this is a time where there's a change of power. It's happening.
Yes.
It is happening. Yes, the West is scared, and they may not say it. They want to put up this pretense. Then it's bold, because when you have nations speaking against the West and things, we want the West out of our country. We want this, we want that. It's just not Africa. It's just not Africa that's saying the same thing. The world is saying it. Now you're looking at a massive attack on a country that has been misusing our people on both continents. In Africa, wherever we are located at, they misused it.
Yes.
And now here we at this point where we're saying, no more. The death threats, that don't work. Another one is going to rise.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the beauty of it, brother. I'm serious. I hand it back to you, Darren.
Yeah, well, Brother Mike, it's interesting, because remember, we were talking about this back in August, right? When they said, look, they knew that they got kicked out, and then that ambassador, what he was trying to do in Niger to stay in the on the land in the embassy, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then they were like, no, we understand the stall tactics, but those stall tactics, they're gonna only get you so far. And see, the problem is that now you understand, well, it's this is neo-colonialism. Let's just understand this. This is neo-colonialism at its finest. And now that neo-colonial mindset that has been established for these centuries, they're seeing really their end coming to to bear. So now with them, they know how bad that looks. I'm going to tell you this. They're thinking if we can bring in the Nigerians, we should be okay with fighting in Niger. The problem that they have is they're going to run into the East. And like I had said, it's not a fact that they are not going to go to war. They're going to go to war. They have to. They have to. And the reason that they have to go to war is because when it starts to get cold, do you realize that when it gets cold, you have to run more energy?
Oh yeah,
You got to.
you will burn a lot more.
You're going to burn more energy. Yeah, it's hot. You're going to burn more, but they don't really burn that much energy comparatively speaking in the north. You can just open up a window, you know. You crack a few windows, let the breeze on in, you're going to be okay. Nah, in the summer or compared to the winter, in the wintertime, nah. You are going to be burning that ace or that electric for heating.
Mm.
You know, the funniest stuff is that I was telling someone, I said, what is presently happening in Africa, very soon it will be change of subject of the formula. It's going to be reversed. The
Mm-hmm.
West, if they refuse to learn and adjust from their wicked ways, they are going to be the one complaining that, oh, there is power outage. And we might just be having a live stream with them, and what usually happen here will be happening there, and there will
Yep.
be constant electricity here then,
Yep.
because they are going to run out of energy, they are going to run out of favor, they are going to run out of help, because everybody is now seeing how wicked they are. How do you explain this? Taking the resources of a very small country like Niger, taking their resources for what's it called, 80 cents per kilogram,
Mm-hmm.
and now when the so-called people you are calling the bad guys have taken over, they are the one now selling it for 200 euro per kilogram. That is sheer wickedness. That's not greediness, that's wickedness from the pit of hell. And this is where the conversation in Africa should start from. Everybody, every country should now see that, wow, this is the level of wickedness that these guys are perpetrating here. Because I was discussing with some persons, I said, why in the world will you, I study economic statistics, and in economics there is what we call centralization, what's it called, industrialization,
Mm-hmm.
and industrialization and placement of industry, industrialization and localization of industry. When you want to industrialize, you locate your industry very, very close to the raw materials. What
Yes.
that does for you, it reduces the costs that would have been incurred when you have it far away from the source of raw materials. But what these guys have done over the years, they've been playing us like donkey. You will export from us at a very satanic cheap rate.
Yes.
You take it over there to your site, which is more expensive, you process it and now return it to us in a very, as in, the price cannot just be compared. You take it for nothing and bring little part of it for the exorbitant price that can even pay for the whole resources. that you have taken. So why not locate this industry yourself? As I'm talking of Africans now, why can't we build industries, these industries ourselves? Let it be that, oh, you need the lights from France, because that's what is going to happen by prophecy and by actualization if we Africans take decisive steps. Okay, you need to power your homes more. Okay, you need increase megawatt, no problem. We are going to lay the pipe, whatever we are going to do, and supply you the finished product.
Yes.
We
They don't
supply
want
the
that
finished
now.
product. This is how much you are going to pay for it. That is where we should be going to. Not even this selling of I don't even care that they are selling the nuclear for whatever uranium. They are selling it for 200 euro. That is even still small. Work on, but they need finances. Let them get it to 200 euro per kilogram. Let them reinvest that money to actual what's it called, production of the end product, that
Yes.
we actually give them the money. Let Ghana and Nigeria that has enough cocoa, let them have all the chocolate being produced here and
Yes.
exported to them there. Now let's now see who will borrow money from who.
Mm-hmm.
You are coming over, you are telling us, you are giving us peanuts, and that's why I'm always very angry with when I see Africans that are non-productive always begging from the West. Why should we beg? Why should we beg when we have the resources? Why should we beg when we have natural foods that are being grown here? But what these guys are doing is that they are trying to manipulate us. They are trying to manipulate us to make sure that things don't work here, so that at the end of the day, even our products, even our seed, they want to ensure that even our seed, we import seed from there. And what are these kind of seed? They are talking of GMO seeds that
Yeah.
cannot be seeds that cannot be replanted, that cannot be reused, so that our feeding is placed into their hands. Africans should wake up. Africans should not operate like idiots that they've taken us for.
This
So
how the money they have gone, man. I mean, when you could take a seed, which Yah created, and
yeah,
they go in there, they reconfigure the seed just to make sure that they can keep Africa in a slave mode. They need us. If they need us, they want us because we supplying them. The same thing is happening here, brother. Same thing. Same way of thinking they have it here. They want the world. They wants to be known. And it's brothers like us. No, we're not trying to we're not trying to entertain that nonsense. We're not. And I think it's for us, hey, spread this around. Hey, we have to start doing for ourselves. They do not think that we can do it, which we know for a fact what we can do. That's the beauty of it. Because do you not have that brother that's a Nigerian who can take static out of the air? I mean, out of the air and have a TV working.
Mm-hmm.
You got all these inventions that was created by Black people. They know the moment you get your hands on those raw materials in Africa, these Africans are automatically going to be turned into scientists because they want to figure out another way to harness this in a different way. That's their fear.
Mm-hmm.
That is their main fear. They know the mental capability of us. They're shaking right now. They're shaking and they vibrating.
Hallelujah. Help us get to 15K, family. This is what this is all about. Connecting, and connections. They have it on the ground there. They have all the wealth on the ground. And we can help them. But first, we have to build a relationship with them, with our family. And Centros is telling you what they're wanting to do to be able to control their wealth, to control their destiny, to control their future. If you don't think that we don't have a hand in this, you're absolutely wrong. We're two sticks coming together. This is what the world is afraid of. This is the support. We support each other to do what? To build towards bigger. That's how the Most High works. He's not a stagnant Elohim. He's an awesome father, but he's talking to his children. Some children that are asleep and some children that's awake, but he's talking to his children. And you see it from the horse's mouth on over there. They're not going to go on in there to Niger, at least not willingly. If they do go, somebody's been set up. Somebody's been threatened to die. That's just how it goes. But they know this is their family. You want us to be the thieves for you since you've got caught? That's the mafia play. Hey, now that you done caught my bucks, please go on in there and rob them for me. What? Please go on in there and steal for me. Huh? They're saying no more. But this is it, family. This is a crucial, critical point. You done seen where Kim of North Korea was sitting down with Putin. They weren't sitting down just for the sake of sitting down. They were sitting down because they were getting some things done. And getting those things done was really focusing in on the continent. Do you know what North Korea is providing to the continent? Do you know what Russia provides to the continent? It's not a little game that they're going to be playing there. We're just going to be doing patty cake. No. This is why France is afraid. France is afraid because they got to meet with some. They're going to be going against some mercenaries, some Russian mercs.
Their lives are on the line.
Yeah.
But not that.
Yeah, go ahead, Mike.
I mean, their lives are on the line. But my thing is this: don't use my brothers and my sisters' lives because your life is on the line. I mean, hey, if we ever stepped out of line, we got judged for it. But they don't want to take their judgment. They don't want to look. If you could just go on it, just turn on Google and type in France. You gonna see so much negative news about France. It is unbelievable. You type in any country that's nearby, go be outside of Africa. You gonna get more negative feedback on that particular country because any country that's in Africa has a negative background, and it's always something that are done to the Africans of Africa, and it's a bad PR, very bad. Now you got all these countries saying, "Hey, we want to get the United States out." You got these countries that's joining BRICS.
Yes, that's a big one.
That is a monster for them. Now you know what? Let's just take a step back. Imagine yourself a world power, and the world is so used to you policing the world. You tell countries what to do. If they don't do it, you may send in some military people or whatever. You may send somebody in there just to take the person out because they're not thinking the way you're thinking. But now when the world start itself its own strategizing against a bully, And now they say, hey, what is the stronghold of this particular nation? Well, it's their money. All righty. Then they start strategizing. And then they strategize right up to this particular day. That's what they have done. They strategized and said, hey, this is what we can do. There was a YouTube news feed, and there was this Gentile lady, and she was imploring, begging the African leaders to join BRICS. But if you were looking at the video, you were looking at it, and it's kind of funny because all of the African leaders, they was looking at her like she was crazy. Because they were saying, she said, we all need to pull our resources together so that we can have live a fair life, a beneficial life that'll benefit Africa and that will benefit the EU, European lands. But she ain't thinking about all the history and all the murders and all the killings and all the raping and all the mutilation that her land done to Africa. Mm-hmm. She didn't take. She know they don't want to take that into consideration. Mm-hmm. All the mental anguish they have caused Africa, and we just speaking about Africa now. They don't want to think about that. Now Africa said no. We want to build a manufacturing companies here. If you get a cocoa bean, we go send you the chocolate. Mm-hmm. That's what we do. You want gold? we go process that gold. We gonna melt it down. Here go the gold coin. This is how much it costs.
Mike, didn't we just have that conversation a couple months ago? And look, we're talking about the finished products, and now here we are, and they're talking about, look, they want to do the finished products because why? If they have the monopoly on the finished products, and guess what? You're not going to just say, I'm going to take this input and here it is. No, you now have a price control. That's economics 101. You have everything. You can start saying, hey, this is what I sell it for. And then guess what? Now folks that sell the same thing, they now have a benchmark. And that benchmark is going to do what? It is going to change and revolutionize things. See, that's why Niger could be like one of those fastest growing nations once France capitulates. And they will. Trust me, they will. They're talking up big time now. But remember, Mali and Burkina Faso said that they're going in. And they're not going in with just little things. They're going in strapped.
Oh yeah.
So now look, France is really trying to save face. And as soon as that bad weather comes in this winter, you better believe that they're going to be renegotiating with Niger. Mm-hmm. And Niger's going to say, look, 200 a kilogram, not no 80 cents. I said this the other day. I said, think about it. What if somebody was only giving you in your retirement, your 401k, 80 cents? And then the rest and then everybody else is getting $200 a month or a day. You see what I'm saying? Think about how that scale is. Man, that's thievery. You're going to say, wait a second, we need to renegotiate this. We need to find out about this. And if you have the power to change it, you better believe you better take that chance to change it. You better believe you better, take that opportunity. But family, I'm going to tell you, they are empowered because they're hearing us. Our brothers and sisters on the continent, they hear us. And we have to do our part. I know it's hard. I know we're asking for help, but if you believe what we're doing is the right thing, which I believe it is, then you're seeing all the things and the potentials and the possibilities. Because why? Because this is what the Most High is opening. These are the doors that He's opening. He's opening it for us to be with our family, to be with our people, to reach on out, to establish a helping hand.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first things first, what do people always do? They always do what? Well, let me make an investment so they can do what? So they can get something in return. This is the investment. Sutrus was just on here telling you what it is that they're not even really able to control and what they want to do to take away their control. Well, yeah, two pronged, right? Two-pronged attack. You attack your brother, and then at the same time you're attacking your brother, then they're going on in there and they're still raping and pillaging and robbing of all the resources. Because why? Because the enemy don't care. The wicked doesn't care. The wicked doesn't play. And
Mm-mm.
we've been here in the depths of the wickedness. So we fully appreciate and understand where that's coming from.
Yeah, those days of a Gentile just going into Africa and walking about freely, um, those days are becoming rougher. Like one of the presidents said, they put up so many stipulations against another African country and all this they need to have. But he said one white person can come there like they're going through a Sunday stroll, won't have none of the issues of coming to any country in Africa. But when it comes to Africans, and he talking about not just African Americans coming to Africa, he talking about local African countries.
Mm-hmm.
They make it so difficult for their own brothers to visit another country. He said, why is that? Who put those type of stipulations in power? He got people that are thinking. Because now you're starting to see who the lawmakers, who they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
And now what we're doing, since we started, we've been taking trips to Africa, meet with different brothers, sharing our thoughts. And our thoughts are just what they're thinking right down to this day. We need to unite. We said this near about 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
This is what we need to do. Now, reality is really on the move in that direction. Yes, they're scared. They are very scared. And if I was them, I think I will be too. If I was not scared, trust and believe, I'll be taking me some tanning pills to have a little copper in my skin. That's just me. But they're seeing the very dangerous downslide to their power and their mistreatment of Yah's people. That's what they're seeing. They don't want to face their demonic past. They don't want to look at it. And if you pay attention to the commercials here in this country, you will see a dark-skinned man now with a white wife. They ain't too much like that. So they at first, then they brought it back to a light-skinned black guy. Then at first it was a white guy who had a black wife.
Mm-hmm.
But now when you see a white lady, her child is always an interracial child, a mixed child. This is what the commercials is pushing out. They trying to elude that, hey, we are all together. They're trying to save themselves.
Mm-hmm.
This is the seed that is trying to save itself, that Yah said, I'm going to put enmity between your seed and my seed. And so now that seed knows, hey, my seed is about to be taken out. I got to show some type of unity with these people of Yah and blend my seed with his seed. My seed continue to live also. The devil is always thinking, but he just cannot get past the Almighty, his creator. He cannot get past him. He knows his activities. And here we are coming together as a nation, fighting. Oh man, when I say fighting, I'm not just necessarily saying we fighting against one another. We're fighting with principalities, demon. This is a spiritual fight. Mm-hmm. It is a spiritual fight. When even if you talk, you're saying, hey, we got to go meet with these brothers here in Nigeria. That is a fight. I'm not saying we're going to meet with the brother, but it costs money to get there, to talk with the brother, to sit down so we can strategize. And so this is where these donations comes in handy, because we're looking at a bigger picture for all of us. And and this is just me now. Scripturally speaking, in Romans, Paul went on to explain, hey, Israel will be saved first and then the nation. It is a must that we save ourselves first. We help ourselves first in order for us to help anyone else. If you're sick, you got the flu and you don't have the energy to take care of your own child. No, you need to heal yourself and help you. And just, we do our best. Even though if we sick, we try our best to help that child. But if you get downright sick where you just cannot stand up, it's a problem. So we literally have to help ourselves as a nation. And I think it's happening right when I see it's happening right now. When you're saying countries, no, chocolate, we're going to do everything. But matter of fact, Hershey, that's what you want us to put on the label. We're going to sell it to you as a candy bar, but you're going to pay top dollar for it. You need gold to go on your computers? Here you go. You need rice to eat? Here you go. This is what Africa is now saying. This is what we are fighting to do in Africa. Because Yah said, hey, that particular nation was in Genesis. In Genesis, I will judge. And the outcome of that nation, according to scriptures, it will be utterly destroyed, uninhabited, and unable to live in it. So, yes, we're on the quest. We're on a quest to unite all of our people, all of us, bring in the trades, bring in that unity, all that distrust, kick it to the side. This here talking about you want to use a country to fight somebody else. No, that's what you call a pimp. Mm-hmm. It's just like I'm telling Big Red, hey Red, Kara said this about you, man, and so and so, and I'm making this stuff believable. Mm-hmm. So then at the same time, I finished talking with Red. Then I jump over to Karis. I said, Karis, oh, Red over there saying so and so about you, man. I mean, he really going in on you, and so now, if Red do not do the research and find out what was really said, all Red is going to do is get upset at Karis. And then if Karis don't do his research to find out whether I was telling the truth or not, he's going to get upset at Red. They're going to be upset at one another. And there's that middleman who started all that demonic nonsense. And now these countries are seeing that.
Mm-hmm.
They seeing it. And they calling the devil out to his own doing. If you want to fight Niger, you go in there. We're not going. And if they go into Niger now, truthfully, if France go in there, I seriously believe they're going to get demolished and the world going to see it. And it's going to be a blow, not just to France, but to the United States. They're going like, wait a minute, these little small people did this to who? It's going to, the world is going to see it. And then let them go in there and start that fight. Let them go in there and do that. The world go like, this little small country did. They go, man, please. They go get their confidence up, and they're going to really truly come up against these nations who have been disrespecting Africa for hundreds of years, using our brothers and sisters to kill one another because they didn't think like the West. I'm surprised they're not killing brothers and sisters now for taking on the alphabet situation. They're moving hard with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but then at the same time, Question Unite Africa, we go over there, and that, and, you know, from a faith base, we do not support that. Scriptures clearly speak against it. So yes, we're going to speak contrary to what the Western world wants to happen in Africa, and that is not something. It's just strictly pleasure. No, it is strictly to take down the population of Africa. That's why they want it there. To take the population down. They done tried it with the diseases. That didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
They done tried coups that they started. That didn't work. They done tried everything up under the sun to demolish the people of Yah on the African continent, and it did not work. If it didn't work, ask yourself this question. We done took out other countries. How is it we can take a whole nationality of people and demolish them, but we cannot demolish these particular people? Why is it? You got to ask yourself that question. What's so special about these people that they continue to live? What is that? Where is they getting this power from? Did not Yah say, I will not, even though he was upset at Israel, he was upset with them. He was. But at the same time, he came back and said, I will not totally abandon my people Israel. But they must go through their discipline. And discipline is what we went through. We went through that discipline.
Yeah, so we're all coming back together, and this is where that support's needed. We need 15,000. We need 15,000. We're at about a fifth of our goal. And we need your help, family. This is what we're here to do. This is why we're here today. This time is more critical than I think any one of us can imagine. We truly don't understand what we're seeing until they let us see what's happening. They let us see what's happening. But we know that there's a hastiness that the Most High is putting on our hearts to get things done, because we do not know how much longer we have here. The world knows how much longer they have, except for us. Everybody knows what they have, except for us. And just think about that. They do that they do that on purpose.
Mm.
Yep.
They want us to remain in ignorance. They want us to remain in a perpetual state of slumber. That's what they want us to be in. That's how they want us to be treated. Because why? Because once we come back together and we're doing things with our brothers and sisters on the continent, do you know how much power that is? They don't want us to understand that power. No, don't tap into it. Don't understand it. Don't look at it. Don't, all of these things that they are discouraging us from doing. Why do you want to
Mhm.
go to Africa? Why do you want to work with Africans? Why do you want to Why do you want to go to Europe? We never hear that question.
Never.
Why would you want to, work with the Europeans? Why do you, oh, well, duh. My family's from Europe. They're from like, this place in France. What?
Mm.
And they'll say that right to their face, and then they have the hesitancy because then they realize they let the cat out the bag on that one. Oh, I shouldn't have said that.
Hmm. Wow. Man, it's a beautiful thing. I kid you not. Because truthfully, I ain't gonna lie to you, Karis. I never would have thought in a million years we will be here at this particular time in this particular day witnessing the brothers on the continent having the same as to what they want to see for Africa. Never would have thought it. Truthfully, when I heard of these different organizations, it's supposed to have been like Black Rand, but it never really was truly united. And it was just a front.
Mm-hmm.
But now you have an organization that is ran by Africans that's working in benefit for brothers here and brothers anywhere on this planet, especially that of Africa. Because we know Africa is the heartbeat of the world. And the world knows if that heart stopped beating, they die.
Mm-hmm.
They die instantly. And if you cannot keep that heartbeat strong, they go get weak.
Mm-hmm.
They know this. They know this. And so, but they want to work outside of the heart. That's where the problem come in at. And they have for hundreds of years. They worked outside of the heart. They just went in. All right, give it some steroids. All right, so we need it. It's getting weak over here.
Mm-hmm.
And now, whoo! I mean, how we went there and we met with different brothers, and they voiced their concerns about Africa. Every last African has a concern about their particular city, country, or whatever. And all of them are saying the same thing. We need factories here. We need this here. And these are the let's just say low level people, the common person. They seeing what they need in order for them to take care of their family just like any other European.
Mm-hmm.
That's all they seeing. They don't want to be like the Europeans. They don't. I mean, what? African Americans don't. But they do not. They wants to be who they are, Africans from Africa, and to live a particular way where when the world shows a depiction of Africa, they showing our people walking around with no shoes on, dirt roads with puddles of muddy water, trash all over the place, and showing people out there washing the dishes, throwing the water out there on the street, clothes not, raggedy clothes. And this is what they want to show, the depiction of our people. But trust and believe, that depiction that they showing you is backfiring, because now the world knows, wait a minute, hold on. The world is saying, you are in that country, ripping the country up 80 cents for some minerals. 80 cents? You are the one who put these people, are keeping these people in this predicament. But at the same time, they want to show that this is a known fact, brothers. And if you think I'm joking, Karis can back me up on this, as well as Red. There's a video that came out a few months ago, and there was this guy, and he said, the world leaders said it is a necessity that they keep Africa poor. Poor. This is what they're saying. And what do you think France is trying to do? Yeah, they rather go in there and fight that war, because they need to have Niger and keep Niger poor. They need that one who's going to be that house Negro. They go need that one. But that person, that particular person, and when I say that person, I'm talking about any person that call themselves in power in Africa against his own people, you will stand at the judgment seat of Yah. Because he said it. He said it. He said, you're weeping and gnashing, you go in there. And you go into the second death of how you treated your own people. And the sad thing about it, it's those people who pimp you to go against your own people, but you go hold a judgment that there's no coming back from. And I hope that these leaders hear this, because they know for a fact what they are and are not doing to their people, our people. Me and Karis was in Tanzania, and we was asking the brothers who's riding us around. We said, bro, we see a whole lot of people with limbs cut off their legs. They may have one leg or whatever. And I'm talking about not just necessarily older people. These were kind of young people. Mm-hmm. And limbs just like, it's like their leg is dead, but they can't lift up and they cannot stand on it. This is what we were seeing there. But trust and believe. There's a European land, there's a European nation that's behind those brothers and sisters' shortcomings or downfalls or limbs. So now, what do you think we're supposed to do? Question United Africa. You think we're supposed to just sit there, not speak about it, not even give a concern about it, not talk with our brothers and sisters? And if you look at the brothers and sisters in their faces and some of the stress that they have of taking care of their families, no, all of this is orchestrated from other lands to keep Africa poor. India says, hey, we're not going to ship rice out. They dominate the rice industry in Africa. How is it that the brothers and sisters there import coming in rice into Africa when it's already being grown there. What's wrong with that picture?
Right.
You know,
Getting grain from Ukraine.
yeah. I mean, what? But this is what they're doing. This is how they keeping our brothers and sisters malnourished. Right here playing. They, well, when I say this, man, when I say this, I have never seen a nation of people that wants to literally murder our Elohim. Everything he put in place, they're taking the seed out of a particular fruit or vegetable. Let's re-engineer this seed. That's what they're doing. If he planted once, it ain't coming back. It is not coming back. They go need us. They go buy seeds from us. We own the seed. We own the patent. That's some demonic stuff. We don't think that way. We're not built that way. We think about longevity and taking care of our families. If our brothers need help, we go and help our brothers. They do not think that way. Whatever they can take, they go take. And they'll call us a thief. They will show black people going into Walmarts and all these stores, raiding that store. Mm-hmm. But they go paint a pretty picture for them. They go, oh man, they gonna have the ice blue eyes, very clean looking skin. I said looking clean. Looking clean. This is what the nation, this is how they build themselves up. This is how they picture themselves to the world. And they come in, look at this black skin here. Like it's disgusting. This is what they practice. We are not built that way. And just because you may have a brother, I know Teo, he pro-Negro. I'm right along with him. I'm just hoping to see the day that we all are back on our continent as one, having our own manufacturing. This here, you remember in the movie, what was that movie? Black Panther. And you remember when, this is the first one, when the Black Panther was walking with his girlfriend, and then, they were showing these buses just hovering over the streets, going through the neighborhoods, and everybody just walking around, technology, and they was looking happy. That's a reality past the reality. That's what I hope to see, where they're taking care of ourselves and helping ourselves and our brothers and sisters on the light. And when it get to that particular time, as Quest Unite Africa, it will be said, this organization helped its people out to get where they are today by means of Yah's direction. This is the reason why we need donation to get there. Go back and forth there. We meeting with brothers.
So Mike, make sure they know. Listen, we're asking for 15,000. We're asking for 15,000. This is what, and this is how it develops. This is how we develop. This is how we continue to move and get these things in place, because the world is not going back to their quote unquote normal.
No.
This is really the new normal for them that they don't want to accept. The new normal is Africa maintaining and controlling their wealth. So we need to definitely build our relationship with our brothers and sisters on the continent.
That is a must. That is like, we need to start at that yesteryear.
Years ago.
Yes.
With doing that, let me go ahead. Now's the time. Drum roll, please. This is something. Shout out to Red for this commercial. This went to our Patreons first. Thank you for those that have we have now our first couple of gold level members. We definitely appreciate that. We're working on sending that gift to you all. You can become a gold, a diamond, or a platinum level member through Stripe and Patreon. Patreon members are able to see the newest media first. And so this was posted on Patreon yesterday. And now we're getting ready to share that. And here we go. Let me.
Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Thank you, Brother Red. Shout out.
Hey, you know, I like the rock. When you had that sludge hammer breaking that rock up. I like the music too, brother. I kid you not. It just like it fits us. I like that. I like that.
One of the key things that we got to realize is, I think this is where a lot of our people kind of miss the buck, is we don't understand diplomacy. We don't understand. We honestly just even on the personal level or the social level, we have a hard time understanding how to have proper relationships. So many times, you see families that'll just abuse people in their family, the one stable one, or the one that usually will come through for everybody, and they'll just do stuff and then won't apologize, won't do anything to make the thing better, to consider the other person's emotions, because Babylon has bred us to become very self-centered and self look at us, just self-centered. What do you do for me lately? What have you done for me lately? If you don't do something for me, if you don't make me happy, and that is a negative trait that we've got to shed. We've got to get rid of that as we start dealing with our brothers and sisters across the pond, and even with each other, because we got to realize it's us. And the Ashkenaz, the other folks, they work together. Even if they disagree, they work together. They don't defraud each other. They will work together. That is one thing that I look at them, and people, I don't agree with everything Kanye said, but when he said that one part about I'm jealous of that, he's not lying, because that is how you build. That is how you work and how you grow as not only a people but as a culture. So this is really more about us shedding our old mindset. We got to shed these old mindsets that Babylon has fed us, because it's just like Kara said earlier. If you say you're going to Japan, everybody's like, oh, okay, cool. You say you're going to Sweden or something like that, oh, okay, cool. You say, yeah, I'm thinking about making a business over in Italy. Oh, word, that sounds great. Oh, I'm making a business over in Dar es Salaam. What? That's Africa. Oh, I ain't safe over there. It ain't this, it ain't that, it ain't this, it ain't that. I've heard so many things of folks saying this and that. Oh, this ain't safe, that ain't safe. Oh, women get beat up. There was a sister over here that was recording the police far away from the situation and had nothing to do with it. She was just recording, an elderly sister, and they beat her down. And then investigated themselves and found that they did nothing wrong. Don't sit here and act like that. I know I never understood this mindset where people say, oh, it's dangerous over there. You must not pay attention to the news. You must not pay attention to what's going on around you. California is almost like Mad Max right now. You when I went to California last year? No, 2 years ago. I had to buy. I went to buy some deodorant because again, our place is so secure. You can't even carry really deodorant with you on the plane. So I said, okay, I always just buy some at my destination, a little travel one. The dude came out. I came in there. It's behind glass. And then the dude, when I got him to come get it for me, he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna hold it for you at the front." You would think that I was buying I was at Best Buy buying some $300 device, or I'm buying like a video game at Walmart where they hold it for you at the No, this is regular deodorant, but they get robbed so much over there. There's so much stuff that they put it behind glass. They lock and key it, and so many stores are outright closing. Not just there, but even here, all over the place. So for us to sit here and ignore these things and act like, oh, America's just so safe. Oh, just keep doing what you're normally doing. Oh, just keep buying and building. And, if you're doing all that, that's fine. But be aware that they coming for you. They coming for you. My brother, who had just bought his house, they raised his property taxes by $400 a month. That's insane. If you think that, I own a house, you don't own nothing in America.
It's just borrowed.
A thing. It is borrowed. You don't own anything here. You can build here if you want to. It will be taken away. And I'm not saying this out of fear tactic. You can go and research it for yourself. There are so many things that are in play right now. Look at why do you think that the IRS is looking at people that do $600 transactions in Zelle and Cash App and all these other small time fees? Why do you think they're looking at that? Because they know who are the majority of ones that use Cash App for their businesses. They look like you and I. So how do you think that's going to affect all these hairdressers and all these guys that do odd jobs and labor and all these small businesses that use Stripe and that use all of these different payment processes that now they got to pay these more taxes on top of the existing taxes? We get taxed for everything 3 times. If you buy a car, you get taxed. If you go and get the insurance, go and sell the car, you still got to get paid for tax on it. You done already paid for the car and paid for the tax, but if you turn around and sell it, you got to pay more tax. Why are you paying tax twice on one thing? The things we get are taxed heavily. Half the time when you buy the items in the store, they've already taxed the provider, who ain't going to take no L, so they pass that tax on to you. Just look at your phone bill if you think I'm lying. They pass some taxes on to you, and honestly, they make money off of it because the taxes only go so much. they put a little extra in the line in their pockets. We got to realize the writing is on the wall here. It's not a fear tactic. It's just logic. If you get out of the mainstream media cycle, if you get out of yourself and get out of your cognitive dissonance and pay attention to what's going on around you, the world is not okay. The United States is not okay. And why would you build something in a place that is sinking? Why would you build sinking sand? That makes no sense at all. That literally makes no sense. Why would you build and put your investments into, I get retirement? Do you really? When the government run out of money, guess what's going to happen? So what's going to happen to your retirement then? Because you didn't plan, because you thinking that the government going to keep handing you a check. This is all changing rapidly. They're not telling y'all about how these banks are failing. I follow multiple. These are intelligent men that know. I learned the market from a lot of them, even more from stuff. I'm talking about analyzing graphs, knowing trends. I'm talking these dudes are intelligent, got multiple businesses because they know how the system works. And they are warning their people, these Gentiles warning their people. Hey, y'all, something's coming. These banks are failing. Hey, you need to get your money out the banks. Get your money out the banks. Don't try to do this. They taking their money out. They putting it in gold and silver, and they divesting away from a lot of stuff in America because they see the writing on the wall. They see it, but we always late to the party. That we want to just get caught up in, Africa. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna lose this. I'm gonna lose that. I'm gonna lose. What are you really gonna lose? What are you really gonna lose? Because when you really start looking at it, the things that we think are our strengths over here are the things that actually gimp us. This independence and all that, that's what keeps us down as a people right now. I can do it myself. Me. Nah, we got to work together as a team. We got to work with our folks over there. That's why it was so important to have Q2UA represented in the government, because it's time to start building those relationships in the government. We can say, they treat us like crap. Yes, because we don't have relationships in the government. They don't know us. We don't come over there unless it's just to be a little tourist with the other white folks. We ain't coming over there like them, man. Them folks are over there. They over there in numbers. I'm seeing more and more Gentile. Just seen one not too long ago. This Gentile on YouTube telling folks, "Hey, he's literally telling people America's the lost cause. Just come over here in Africa. Look at where I'm at. Look at it." Like, the Gentiles are saying it. Come on, man. Mm-hmm. You can let the cognitive dissonance get to you, but this is not just for the benefit of just us. This is the benefit of all of us who have origins from Africa, because it's the time is now. The time is now. We see it. The writing is on the wall. There's a video of this Gentile dude from England coming out saying maybe we should apologize, and he coming out bashing his country because he sees the writing on the wall. It is not going to come to a good end once, not when, not if, when, which is very, very quickly coming, this battle between NATO and Russia and China. And all these other folks that's jumping on the bandwagon to get in there. Because in case you haven't known, Kim Jong-un just met up with Russia. And then they lost track of where he was. Yeah, because him and Putin was strategizing. Oh, we don't know where he is. Yeah, you're not going to know where he is. He's strategizing. Like this is serious. This is a serious time. This ain't the time to be just caught up in la la land and I'm just gonna go out here and plan my vacations and I'm just gonna go and I'm thinking of getting this house and I'm doing this. I'm gonna buy this new this and buy this commercialism nonsense, this consumerism crap that they've just filled us with. This is the main reason how they control us. Black folks give the most money to the most nonsense. What good is buying a brand new Mercedes gonna do for you? What good is buying this, brand new outfit made by some gay designer? What good is all these Jordans in your closet gonna do when you can't even put food on your table? What good is it gonna do? And that's coming soon. They're not telling y'all. There's right now over there in over there in Panama where they have the what's that stupid thing called? I forget. The little lock system they have where they transmit all the goods through. It's stuck again. But this time it's stuck because they ain't been getting enough Panama Canal. They ain't been getting enough rain. So the locks don't have enough water to raise the ships up, and the water is so low that the ships have to offload 30% of their goods. They can't flow through there because they're too heavy and there's not enough water. I can tell you right now, I do purchasing in my job. I'm doing it as a network engineer, purchasing. I buy the switches and I do all of that stuff, to get all these quotes and stuff together for clients. We have a hard time pulling in switches. We're having a hard time getting some things in. I'm talking about the lead time is just disgusting on some of this stuff. They not telling y'all this, man. People just going off of la la land, only paying attention to what's on TV and blah 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 blah, and you just caught up in the stupidness and not really paying attention and having bigger sense to see further than 2 days down the road. We got to start getting serious about how we think further. This ain't just about filling up Africa. This is also about us too, about having a place for us. So that we can say, okay, we out of here and we can go over here and then we can establish. You can build a house and own your house. I saw on Wode Maya, he was talking about this sister who came over there and started her business over there, her and her husband, and she owns her house outright. She owns her land outright. She owns her own water. She got her own electricity. She don't got to pay nobody nothing. She owns all her stuff. Ain't no taxes, ain't nothing. It's ownership. When they die, they pass it on to their kids. Ain't no government coming in to take the house. That's real freedom. Over here, you can't even get water without paying for it. And they just put water. They didn't tell y'all, but back in 2019 rather, they put water as a commodity. It's being traded like it's like gold and silver. They know what's coming, but people don't pay attention, and they call people like us fear mongers when we're telling you the truth. This is the truth. This is not fear. This is to make you aware so that you can make choices so you won't be caught like the virgins who didn't have any oil when the Goodman came.
Yeah.
So you won't be caught like the Egyptian, the Israelites that didn't put the lamb's blood above their posts. This is the same equivalent of that, of preparing yourself, buying some food, having some things, preparing, seeing what's coming on the horizon. That money that you could have put into those goofy outfits, you can actually conserve that money and use it to buy yourself some extra food and some extra provisions. and then put your money into something that's actually going to give you a true return for your function. So they don't teach us that. They don't teach that. We just think consumerist, consume, like locusts, instead of thinking long term. This is the thing to think long term. We're not just doing this just to submit to push ourselves, because honestly, barely hardly, we can't sit here and act like, oh, they just trying to get the Q2UA money to fit. Nah, it ain't like that at all. Trust me, it ain't like that at all. It ain't. Everything goes back into building these relationships and building up things in our continent so we can have a mutually beneficial relationship, not where we trying to just take like the Europeans do. We're trying to show our brothers and sisters over there a better way so that we can come over there as job creators and pay them properly. Help them become job creators so they can, in turn, everybody eats. Everybody eats. And that's the mindset that we have coming into this. Everybody eats.
Trading amongst ourselves.
That's it. Trade amongst ourselves. Because it's going to be imperative that we do this.
Yeah. Tell you, man. Red, you lit into him.
Well, family, I'm gonna go with final comments here, and then I'm gonna do the outro video as we wrap on up. But thank you again for. So go ahead, final comments, Brother Red or Brother Mike.
You can go ahead, Red.
I said my comments.
All right.
Thanks, Red. I know you gotta get back to work, so that's what I was trying to make sure. It's like, I appreciate you. You're on borrowed time. Hallelujah. Brother Mike.
Well, I like the meeting today, and the brother from Nigeria. I mean, we need more. We need more of that. We need to have not brothers from Nigeria. We need brothers from Kenya, from Tanzania, brothers and sisters. We all need to be online together so that we can strengthen our understanding of each other, and just really truly just come together, because like Red said, we're living on a dying land, and it's time for us to wake up and come up out of our sleep, our slumber. Things that you're seeing on TV is a distraction. That's all it is. It's there to entertain you. This here is not entertaining. We're not here to entertain you. The thing we're here to do is to enlighten and to build up your faith. That's what we are being instructed by Yah to do. For you to really see what's really happening on the world scene. And it's our people that is asleep, like Red said. Jordans, we doing every and anything except paying attention to what's really going on. That's what we're not doing. And we're just here to encourage brothers and sisters. Hey, just wake up. Look at what's going on in your surroundings. And they can talk about Africa, talk about, oh man, they over there killing and stuff. What? All you got to do is go to Walmart. They're doing the same thing in Walmart, the parking lot. That's just an excuse that some people use. But no, my encouragement is this. Stay on point. Keep your minds, guard your heart. That's what the Messiah said. Above all things, guard your heart, for out of it is the sources of life. That's one thing we need to do as brothers and sisters. And at the same time, we continue to respect our brothers and sisters, and we press on. Because one day, the world is going to turn. And it's going to turn in a way that it's going to catch everybody's attention. For some, it may be a shock. Some may have heart attacks for what they may see. For some who've been looking at the world and seeing what was going on, it's not going to be so much of a shock, but it's still going to be a shock, but you'll be able to survive because you've seen it coming. And that's how we should be. Encourage one another. Stay focused. Do not let the world entertain you. If you can, shoot, let the world, you entertain the world by your faith, your action. And we press on. I hand it back to you, Brother Karras. Shalom.
All right. Thank you, Brother Mike. Yeah, so thank you, family. We're wrapping up this 15K drive. Yeah, I sprung it yesterday, but I know that it's by the Most High's will that we can get this. We can do this because we're getting ready. We got to send Mike back on out to the continent to get some work taken care of. And we need to do that very soon. There's a lot of things that's getting ready to happen. There's a lot of things that we're doing on the background with the NGO and getting that taken care of. So there's a lot of support that's still needed, family. This is always going to be a big job. It was always going to be robust. But now that we know what the needs are and how we need to work, now we need to do the asking. And that's where my job comes in. I'm the asking president and executive director for asking. But yes, family. But I thank you all because I know that the amount of support, it's there. And it's going to grow. See, what the Most High does, he grows things. He is the ultimate gardener. And he grows our faith day by day by day. So we just have to trust and believe on him. Thank you again, family, for supporting Quest to Unite Africa discussions on Friday. Thank you for supporting Quest to Unite Africa. And if you're interested in Quest to Unite Africa to support, to donate, please visit us at Q2Unite Africa with a K.org. You can also support by Cash App. We have PayPal. We have Zelle. It's $ Q2UA for Cash App, Q2UA for PayPal, and Quest to Unite Africa for Zelle. You can also support us being a Patreon. And we have subscriptions on Patreon and Stripe. Thank you, family, because the work is just getting started. And if you don't think that's a big deal, then why do you think they have to get in? Question is, what's going to happen? That's going to be the question. That's the question on all of our minds. Hallelujah. So, family, Most High willing, I'll be back on next week with Covenant Awakenings. Same bat time and same bat channel. So with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom. Peace and blessings, Yasharel.
Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapofi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Karibuni sana.